Good morning, students.
Good morning.
Good morning, students. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Why there's very less attendance? Less than 80 students. It's more than 10 minutes.
For RCC classes centered, ma'am. So if you got just few can't upload in on time, ma'am. So that they are asking sir and they are having some sort of problems. Ma'am. So they are having some sort of works in that, ma'am. They'll join within some few minutes, ma'am.
No, should I wait or shall I start?
I think we can start, ma'am. They will join.
Yeah, fine. Is the slide is visible?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
One second. So last class I have just finished the construction of bituminous payment or flexible payment. Right? It consists of various layers like subgrade, which is the lowest one, including that embankment also. Right? We covered then what are the compacting equipments, importance of compaction, those things. Then sub-base course, you have it's granular sub-base we are laying, then base course either like water-bound macadam and wet mix macadam. Okay, so water-bound macadam, it's more or less like it's not in WMM. Wet mix macadam, you have to do the mix design or job mix formula, you will mix and then laying it. But in case of water-bound macadam, the materials are, if it is different material, that's laid in different at its layers. Okay, so you have more or less more quality control over wet mix macadam. So in national highways or state for major important works, now like wet mix macadam is preferred than this water-bound macadam roads. Okay. Then you have the bituminous layers like BM, bituminous macadam, bituminous concrete, dense bituminous macadam, etc. And we have just gone through something bituminous layer also. Next is about the construction of concrete pavements. You had already have just told you about what are the difference between. No, in the beginning of the classes, I mentioned what are the difference between flexible and rigid pavement. So next comes the construction of concrete or rigid pavement. The materials what is required for this concrete pavement construction are ordinary Portlands, any it is cement, ordinary Portland of different grade or Portland porcelain or Portland slag according to what is needed and which road you can just choose on this. Admixtures, chemical admixture, mineral admixture like fly ash, granulated, blast furnace slag, silica fume. All of you I think might have studied this concrete in concrete technology about the mixed design and all. Similar mixed design also you this concrete mixed design you have to work out for this cement concrete pavement also. Only thing there is some slight variation in the gradation to be used for this pavement. Okay, pavement, the cement concrete what is used for pavement, it's called pavement quality concrete. It's called PQC. Okay, and below the PQC you can have one lean concrete, lean mix. That's called bi-lean concrete. Above that it should be high quality one which satisfies the requirement for what is needed, the gradation requirement for the pavement. That's called pavement quality concrete. So again, so aggregates the properties or the specification what it should satisfy for aggregates is natural, it is material complying with IS like LAV is Los Angeles abrasion value should be less than 35 percentage. Combined elastic elastic modulus and flakiness, elasticity index and flakiness index value should be less than 35%. It should be continuously graded aggregate. It should not be gap grade or like uniform grading. It should be continuously graded aggregate or well graded aggregate. Water absorption value should be less than 3%. If you are doing the soundness test with using magnesium sulfate, you have to keep the aggregate in this magnesium sulfate solution, then dry it again. This this cycle should repeat. After that, if you're finding the weight load should be less than 18% if you're using magnesium sulfate, and it should be less than 12% if you're using sodium sulfate. Okay. And as far as fine aggregate is considered, it should be clean natural sand or crushed stone sand or its combination, and the material passing 75 micron for natural sand should be less than 3% by weight and 15% if crushed stone sand is used. This is a gradation required for dry lean concrete. Okay, here dry lean concrete is there. You have this at a separate gradation requirement for pavement quality concrete. Okay, so there's a dry lean concrete. Above that only you will be laying pavement quality. So what is that gradation of the aggregate required for dry lean concrete is given here, like 26.5. Okay. And percent by weight passing the C, 26.5, it should be 100% of the material should pass through this 26.5 mm sieve, and 80 to 100% should pass through 19, 55 to 75% should pass through 9.50 mm sieve. And similarly, it's given for other sieve also. So whenever you're taking the materials in the market, it's not it won't be available 26.5, 19 or 9.5. It will be like 25 mm, 20 mm aggregate, then what is it, 12.5, 10, 6 mm chips, etc. So you should proportion or take the proportion of 20 or 25, then 10, 6 mm, such a way that it should satisfy this gradation. Maybe like 25 mm you take like 10% of that, 20 mm, no, what are the 20 mm down aggregate, it is maybe you can take 15. Like it should be done by trial and error. Take some, then check whether it's satisfying this chart, this specification or not. Okay. So this is as far as dry lean concrete is considered. Similar gradation is there for pavement quality concrete, but the percent by weight passing the sieve is different. Okay, early one you can see that it starts from 26.5 to 75 micron, and for 26.5 it was 100, then 80 to 100, etc. This will vary for pavement quality concrete. Say for 31.5, 100% should pass through 31.5, 85 to 95% of the material should pass through 26.5 mm sieve. Similarly, it's given for other sizes also. Okay. So this, for whatever the material you're using for pavement quality concrete, should satisfy this gradation. Apart from this, you have to use or check for the properties of the water and use it. Then steel or reinforcements, the materials for joint construction like sealants or fillers, then fibers. If you are using, you can use steel fibers or some natural fibers also can be used along with the concrete. So proportioning of concrete. So DLC, this mixed design should be as per IRC SP 49, and for that mixed design for pavement quality concrete PQC should be as per IRC 44 to ascertain the flexural and compressive strength. Okay. So for concrete roads, flexural strength is a design. So whenever you're checking design criteria, we have seen that it will be based on the flexural strength of the concrete. So for that you have to do the third point, loading of flexural beams of say 150 by 150 by 700. And the thing is that you have to find the flexural strength. You know, this formula you might have studied 0.7 into root of FCK, where FCK is the characteristic compressive strength in megapascal or in Newton per mm square. Okay, so this formula you have to use to find the flexural strength of the this concrete. So first step in this concrete construction is preparation of subbase. So as if you have done the subgrade preparation in flexible pavement or bituminous pavement, either it may need embankment or subgrade, everything you have to do it for the cement concrete also. So this PQC can be constructed on 2 layers of subbase. You can have like granular subbase, a slower subbase, and above that it can provide dryling concrete as upper subbase. Okay, so this layer, this granular subbase layer, it should be laid over a subgrade minimum 50 centimeter or 500 mm, and the CBR value should be 8%. And the camber and the super elevation, as that what you are aiming to provide for the concrete slab, it should be you should provide it from the subgrade itself. Okay, so if it's a 2% is the camber, it should be done from the subgrade itself. So the subbase, you have granular subbase. Above that you can provide dryling concrete. Okay. So granular subbase is lower subbase and dryling concrete over this granular subbase is upper subbase. So permeability coefficient of granular subbase at least 30 meter per day should be there. And material what you can use is natural sand, crushed gravel, crushed stone, or any combinations or any other material also which is suitable for this granular subbase, like locally available some materials also can be used as granular subbase, or can be a mixture of this. Okay. Then when you're checking, check that 10% fines value 50 kilonewton or more. So to get or to obtain the 10% fine material, you should have applied more than 50 kilonewton load. Okay. Then water absorption value should be less than 2% and the CBR value should be at least 8%. Modulus of subgrade reaction. Modulus of subgrade reaction. This is one important parameter what you require either for the design or checking for the stresses or stability and all. So this you can find from plate load test. If it is not possible to do the plate load test, so it's quite easy to do the CBR test, like compared to plate load. So IRC 58 had given some relationship between this K value and CBR. So if you know the CBR value, you can find what is the modulus of subgrade reaction. Okay. Suppose if the CBR is 7%, can be taken as 4.80. 10% take the K value as 5.5. In between you can do the linear interpolation. Similar it's given for other CBR values also. This table you have seen in the design also. That's the same thing. So K value over, if you are providing dryling concrete, so what you have to do is again you have to modify it. Okay. So effective K value, if you are using 100 mm DLC, then you have instead of 4.8, it can be modified as 20.8. So 5.5, 27.8. If you are using 150 mm DLC, it is 27.5, 41.7, etc. Okay. So dryling concrete, this 150 usually will provide in state highways or national highways and expressways. For dryling, this is 100 mm. For other roads, you can provide. If your embankment consists, or if your subgrade consists of like a heavy clay or black cotton soil, then you need to stabilize the subgrade with lime and make the CBR value at least to 15%. And when you are stabilizing, try to see that at least minimum 500 mm thickness of the subgrade you are stabilizing the soil. Next one is separation membrane. Separation membrane, I mentioned like you have bonded and unbonded layers. If you are using a separation membrane, then it is unbonded layer. If you are not using the separation membrane, then this DLC layer and this PQC layer will act together. This will form a bonded layer. Okay. So separation member between the cement concrete slab and the DLC base, it can provide an impermeable PVC sheet of 1.25 micron thickness. If and overlap is to be provided, at least 30 centimeter of overlap should be provided over that. And then next comes the construction. In that, the material should check for the materials and the mix design. Then what are the tools and equipments required? What's the construction methods, various steps and quality control steps required. And as far as the cement concrete is considered, you have to do the construction, or you have to see to the joints also. There are different types of joints, and so in that, what is the gaps to be provided, then what is the, one second, what's the spacing of the joints, and what is that material you have to use it for filling the joints, etc. have also to be taken care in this. So joints can be like different, you have contraction joint with double bars. As I mentioned earlier, you have double bars and tie bar. Double bars will transfer the load from one slab to another, and you should provide provision for moving of this double bars. Okay, during expansion or contraction, it should be able to move. So what you used to do is, if you are fixing the double bar, on one portion of the double bar it is firmly fixed, and other portion it is free to move. That's why MS round double bar, plastic sheathing is there, so that it's easy for it is moving. That's a contraction joint with it is double bar. Okay, and so you're cutting 1/4 to 1/3, rest will be formed automatically. And similarly, this is a longitudinal joint with a tie bar between the two lanes. This is just for joining the two slabs together. Okay, so like you need not do this bitumen or sheathing. Wherever this bitumen is given only for the short length where this joint is there. Okay. And other one is expansion joint with a double. This is a full joint where you can see a compressible filler material is there. Then on one side it is fully fixed, on other side of the slab like plastic sheathing is provided, or it can be coated with bitumen also. And you can see the double curve which is filled with a compressible material, because this is an expansion joint, so the this will expand, and you should provide a space for the rod or the double bar here. So manual method of construction, so it's for very small work you can provide. Thing is that it will be time consuming for placing, spreading, vibrating and finishing. And other methods like semi-mechanized and mechanized construction, two forms, it's there, fixed form and slip form paver are there. Okay, this in case of fixed form, you can see there's a frame is there. Okay, or if a framework, as if you're constructing the slab and all, it should be within a framework. Okay, it's both the at its joints or boundary is fixed it with a frames and all. But in case of like slip form paving train, it's a continuous, it's there, you can see the sides. There's no shutter or frame is not needed for at this time, but you should see to it the mix is sufficient enough. Okay, this is a paving trend. This will be done step by step. It will be done. Okay, so you can see here like the earlier one also you can see. This is a spreader. Then you have the vibrator, double inserter, like no double bar, how to insert. There are equipments for inserting the double bar and tie bars. You can feed what is the spacing or depth at which you need the double bar, so automatically it will be done. Then light, it is vibrated, and diagonal finisher. Okay, then for curing also you have you have to do the texturing. No, this texturing have to be done, then the curing equipment will be there. In this also there is a slip form paver train. Hope you understood that this is within a frame or a shutter will be there, but here it's not there. Okay, again you have the paver, it's done in full party paver. In that you have the flow spreader, screw spreader is there, double inserter. Then like a slip form, no, this will slip from here to here. Only while laying it will be there, after that it will be when it is moving, this will also move. It's an auto float. Then brush is there for texturing. Then you have the curing machine. You can see the spray here. There's a granular subbase course being spread with a paver. There's a pictorial view of a crushed aggregate base course being compacted with a vibratory roller. It's a view of dry-lean concrete. It's a rolling of dry-lean concrete in progress. So I have some couple of some pictures of that will be easy for you to understand. Okay, the procedure or steps also are given, and so some pictures that will be easy. Well, what you can see here, this is a concrete batching plant. Now where the mixing is done. You can see after that it is transported to the site. Okay. This is a tandem roller of 8 ton. This is the DLC paver, dry lean concrete paver. Its width will vary from 2.5 to 9 meter according to the width of the concrete or slab what you have today. Accordingly, you can choose the paver width. This is a pictorial view of a pavement quality concrete paver. This is of width 8 to 16 meter. Okay. So first one is the what is the procedure for laying dry lean concrete. Okay, dry lean concrete DLC. The methodology, first you have to lay it is pave the longer stretches better. So it is better to in a day you try to finish as much as stretch you can complete. So it's better if you are doing long stretches in a day. Okay, you have to cut or stop somewhere. Either you can, that's called the this construction joints should be there. If you can match the construction joint with the expansion joint and all, it will be easy. Okay, so try to lay a longer stretches, water and compact the GSB surface on the previous day itself. Mark boundaries of paving width. No, what is the width of the layer, whether it's a 5 meter, 3 meter, whatever it is. Then fix the sensor pegs at 5 meters center to center. Fix the string line at fixed height above the proposed profile of DLC. We have to decide on the thickness, right? So cut vertically the end of the previous day's work. With there should be proper bonding. So cut vertically the end of the previous day's work and start concrete batching plant and cover the dumpers with tarpaulin and all. Then reverse the dumpers to approach the paver hopper and unload the material carefully. And when draw the concrete from the hopper into the rear of the paver and spread the concrete up to full width of the paver. Okay, so you have the hopper and this pavers also. So in this it should be spread to the full at its width. Then start paving, start rolling with tandem this roller. You have to do that is rolling immediately. You can see this is a paver, you can see that is rolling. Tandem roller spray wax based curing compound that specified, right? This you might have stated this for curing. Okay, cover DLC surface after membrane curing with hessian cloth, then keep the hessian moist for 3 days. This is the procedure for dry lean concrete. Okay, so paving and compaction with DLC paver. You can see the dry lean concrete paver here. I mentioned like sensors of DLC paver for grade control. This is a rear side of the DLC paver showing. Can see the screed or spreader also you can see. Like, okay, you can see some sensors here that there will be a string also. So this will decide the depth of the concrete to be dumped in in the layer or on the road. This is a DLC pavers working in tandem to pave 12.85 meter wide DLC. Can see the paver here and the this vibrators also, this compactor also. This curing of DLC, I've seen wax-based curing compound can it is provide. Next is in above this dry lean concrete, just have a layer. If you are providing like if you wanted to separate the dry lean concrete and pavement quality concrete, Then what you have to do is you have to provide a separation membrane. Okay, that's first. So first one, clean the DLC surface with compressor or mechanical broom or manually. Then mark the boundaries of the paving bit. Spread separation membrane, that PVC sheet we have mentioned that you have to lay it. Then fix the fix specs at 5 meter center to center on both sides at a fixed distance of pavement edge. Fix the string line at a fixed height. Start the chilling plant. Okay, in advance to have chilled water. Say suppose if you are just laying the concrete on hot climate, or if the temperature is very high, in that case you can start this chilling plant. Check for the batching plant for all its functions. Keep requisite number of 15 megaton dumpers ready, because you can't wait like one by one system. You can't wait for everything. You should keep it ready at least before. 1 second, sir. Class on. Okay, sir. Okay. So you have to check for the this batching plant, then dumpers. Check the PQC at is paver for all functions. Check water tank on to paver and curing at is compound for there at is content. So everything keep ready before starting this. Then check for the spray nozzles for proper spray. 1 second. Then after that, position this PQC paver at starting points, wherever you want to start, position that. 1 second, please. And fix the position of tie bar, then also feed necessary details in the computer, because you have to give what is the depth to which you have to lay the tie bar, spacing, etc. Okay, position the working bridge, and behind paver I will show you what is that working bridge. Then position the starter beam fitted with double bars at start point. It should match with the front shutter of paver. You have to lay the tie bar and this double bar also. Then mark the position of contraction joints, 4.5 meter or whatever the contraction joint spacing, you have to mark it. Check for the mason skilled workers for their tools, including the straight edge. Then position the trained person in front of the paver to guide the dumper driver during reversing. Keep quality controls tools like slump test, cube molds, then B molds, etc. ready at the site. No, as soon as the concrete comes, you have to do this also. And fill the double bar tray with double bars. Start production of concrete, then it has to be transport in dumper, and on reaching the site, reverse and dump it on the front of the paver. Okay. Unload that is concrete in front of the paver at least 2 locations. Push the concrete with wheel loader or excavator up to paver screed. Then use the spreader to spread concrete in full weight. Start paver movement. So after paving first 2 to 3 meter paved concrete shall be compacted externally with needle vibrator and surface finished manually. Okay. Thereafter manual finishing is not required. So required for concrete paving. Then insert the double bars, tie bars. Then check for the paved layer behind paver for any finishing required. If some holes or something is there, it should be it is cleared then and there. Extra slump is there, support edges with side shutters of 300 height. Okay, extra slump, if the concrete is very loose, in that case it should be supported with side with some shutters. Finish the top surface wherever required by using working bridge. Start texturing of the content, and there you have to start texturing also. Curing shall be done immediately. While doing this, you have to monitor the temperature the slump of the concrete at the side. Cover the paid PQC with weather protection. Say suppose it's raining or it's too even if it's raining also can provide weather protection shade. If it's too hot also it can provide this. Start initial cutting of the joints about within 8 to 10 hours after paving. You should cut the joints. Okay. Finish the paving by putting end stopper at a end and finish last 1 to 2 meter stretch manually using needle vibrator, because at that point it might be difficult for the equipment to reach. Then keep the surface moist with wet hessian cloth. Do final cutting of joint. Keep in mind initial cutting is 8 to 10 hours after paving. Final cutting is after 15 days and fill the joints with sealants, and then it can be open to traffic after joints are completed. So what I'll do this, I don't know whether you understand fully. I will share you a link of the some YouTube videos are there where you can just watch the procedure of this concrete road laying. Okay. Then construction of manual fixed form slip, which I mentioned. Manual method in this you require some equipments like mini batching plant, uh, like needle vibrator, screed vibrator, concrete mixer, texturing brush, joint cutting machine, etc. Okay, this is a mini batching plant where this batching can be done in the site itself. It's not a big one. Big one is what you have seen in the earlier one. Okay, these are batching plants. Okay, instead of this, if it's for a small work or if you're doing manually, you can have this mini batching plant. That's compaction with needle vibrator. This is screed vibrator. Okay, this for leveling after laying this. This is screed vibrator. This is slip form paving. Okay, slip form. There's no shutter only. While doing this, it is there. After that, it's free. This is a polythene membrane. What you have to lay above the dryling concrete pavement. This is a PQC paver, pavement quality concrete paver. This is a polythene sheet on clean DLC. This is a starter beam with double bars. Okay, you can see the double bars laid here. This is unloading of concrete in front of the paver. This is again unloading of concrete. Placing of it is concrete. Okay, then fixing of the string lines. Hope in this picture it's clear. You can see on the sides. Sensors are placed over this. This is a double bar cutting. Then this is an automatic double bar inserter. This insertion, sorry, for the curing. You can see a curing, that is spray is laid over there. Okay, on here and also on the sides. This insertion of double bars. This application of curing compound. There is a diamond cutting, no, which will be very hard. So it's got diamond cutting. So the initial cutting and final cutting, whenever it's specified, you have to do that one. The texturing. Okay, after laying or leveling, it has to be textured. If it is small work, you might have seen they used like broom and all for just do the texturing. Otherwise, you can, there are equipments for doing this texturing of the concrete pavement. This is a grooved surface. Okay. After that, you have to check for the depth of the double bar after insertion. Then check for the spacing depth and also the spacing of the double bar insertion. This is a tie bar inserter. Okay. And this oscillation beam behind the tie bar inserter. This is super smoother, which is behind your paver. After laying the paver, it's a super smoother. I mentioned about working bridge. Say some hole or some like particle it is there. So you can't just walk over this, right? So this is a working bridge. So a mason can stand there and be there and do the some small works and be done. This is a working bridge for mason. This is a PQC surface immediately behind the super smoother. This is spraying of resins based aluminium curing at a compound. It's a view of freshly laid pavement quality concrete. This I just mentioned about this weather protection shed. In adverse weather condition, you can provide this also. It's an executed PQC layer. This is a hessian cloth for curing purpose. So this can be kept moist on PQC. It's a moist curing of PQC, wet hessian surface covered with polythene sheet. This is a contraction joint, initial cutting of the contraction joint. After cutting, you have to clean the joints. You have to clean because those dust particles will be there. So you have to clean it with water spray now. Okay. Then fixing your backup rod after initial cutting, just fix this backup rod. After that, widen the groove after 14 days. After 14 days, widen this groove and cleaning of the groove with compressed air. Okay, this compressed air cleaning. Then primer application. You just fix this masking tape so that it won't mix up in the concrete. Fix this masking tape and apply the primer in the joints. Okay, before this sealant filling, then fill it with sealant. Then finishing of the sealant. Just finish the sealant. Then remove this masking tape after sealant filling. Then this is the surface of a finished PQC with sealed joints. This is the finished PQC showing, you can see the texture also. Right? Okay. This is the construction procedure of PQC or cement concrete road. Hope you understood this. So main points in this construction, maybe I can highlight one second. So what you have to see here is this procedure methodology is important. Before starting, you have to prepare all this, check for all whether all this numbers, everything is perfect, because once the concrete, you can't stop it. Okay, so check for all this. So in above it is DLC, mark the boundaries, then have your separation, it is membrane, fix the pegs and the string line for this height. Okay, chilling plant, if it's very hot, then check for the batching plant numbers. Check for the PQC paver, then that is nozzles, it's working or not. Then position is proper, at a proper positioning of PQC, working bridge, then equipment or starter beam for fixing double bars, tie bars, everything you should check for the mason, trained person, etc. For quality control test, check the availability of slump test, Q test and the site. Then test double bars, also you have to fill it properly, and it can be automatically feed the spacing and the depth. Start the production, unload that is concrete, then push the concrete with wheel loader or excavator into the paver screen. Use spreader to spread, then start the paver at this moment. Then you can use needle vibrator also. Continue the paving, insert double bar and tie bar. Then if extra slump is there, support the edges with some side shutters. Finish the top surface wherever required by using working bridge. Texturing of the concrete should be done, then curing. Either you have to monitor the temperature, slump, etc. Curing can be with like some curing compound or hessian cloth. Okay, then initial cutting 8 to 10 hours, final cutting is done after 15 days. Then fill the joints with the sealants, then it can be open to traffic. Okay, this is a procedure for this pavement quality concrete. Any doubt?